Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with part 1 of my wedding Q&A shenanigans. I didn't expect to get as many questions as what I did, so I apologise if you're not really interested in wedding content and me talking about the day and answering questions that I received, but at the same time I do want to answer them for everyone. I did get quite a lot of questions about budgeting. You all know how open and honest I am about money and budgeting, and I can imagine all of you knew that I did the wedding on a budget anyway, which is why I received so many questions. So I'm actually going to do a separate video about wedding and budgets and the breakdown of our costs, because I had so many questions about how I did it and they want to know more. Instead of clog up a Q&A about general stuff, I'm going to dedicate a whole video to how we spent, what we spent a little bit more on, and what we reined it in on. But I say rein it in, we didn't have to rein it in on anything because everything was on a budget, but there were certain things where we spent a little bit more of money, if that makes any sense. I've got hair on my nose. I was trying to categorise things for my Q&A, so I wanted to have one that was all related about family, guests, the wedding, etc., and then about my dress, my hair and beauty and all of that. But I can't be bothered, so I'm literally just going to read through the questions as I got them and answer them for you. You might hear P in the background. She's babbling in her cot. She's about to go for a nap, but she just talks to herself for about half an hour, so if you do hear her, just know that she is safe and she's just chatting to herself in her bed. So this is one page. I have another page. I literally got about 50 questions, which is crazy. First question is who attended our wedding, and that also coincides with another question I received, which was how many guests did we have. So the total number of guests we had was 15, and that's including myself, Neil and P. So I'll just sort of give you the rundown as to who we had. So obviously it was us three, and it was my dad and my stepmum, my mum, Neil's mum. Let's just take this rank plaster off my finger. I sliced my finger open on a knife and it really hurts, and I keep snagging the skin whenever I change P's nappy. Anyway, so Dad, Sally, my mum, Neil's mum. Then I had 4 friends. I had Ellie, Wench, Becky, Georgia, and then Neil had his 4 friends, which were Rob, Ross, Jamie and Ben. So we had 15 in total. So that is who came to our wedding. I will also quickly point out Neil has a much bigger family than what I do. Pretty much the people that were there for me are my family. I do also have sort of distant cousins, a cousin that I see sort of often, and then my Auntie Carol and my grandma, but that's it. And whereas Neil's got brothers and nephews and nieces and all of that. Where did I get my wedding dress? This is probably one of the most asked questions I actually got. I actually found it. So I was looking on ASOS and all of that, and I found this brand called Chi Chi London. And I was like, what is this brand? Like, awful brand, but they did really pretty dresses. So I was looking on the bridal section on ASOS, and I didn't like what they had, and they were expensive for what they were when I didn't like them, if that makes any sense. So I went on Chi Chi London. I found their brand through ASOS, if I haven't said that. And I was looking through their bridal selection, and they had really nice bridal ones, but the majority of them went into the sale because I was looking in sort of like February time. I don't think they had released new lines. So I liked some of the designs, some of them I didn't. I never knew what I wanted, and this was the problem. I knew I had to have something here. I couldn't go strapless because of the size of my boobs. I had to wear a bra and I had to wear straps, whether they be see-through or not. I had to have straps, so I always knew I needed something here. So because of that, I wanted quite a high neck. And then the rest was sort of game. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted. I knew I didn't want anything puffy. So then I searched on Chi Chi London, looked at their bridal section, didn't really rate it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to refine it. So I went on the colours options and I refined it to white. And then I didn't find anything I liked. And then I refined it to ivory. And then that's when I saw my dress. There were 2 dresses that I liked. Obviously mine, and then there was sort of like a high neck, and then it just sort of pleated out. It was, I don't know if it's called an A-line dress or not. I don't know what it was, but it was very pretty. But I chose mine because of the dipped hem. I don't know if that's what it's called. I just keep calling it a dipped hem. So it stopped just below my knee at the front, and then it obviously went down and like scooped down. I'm not very good at describing things. And I was like, I really like that. And then it had the lace capped sleeves, so I knew it was a high neck, so I didn't have to worry about my bra being on show. But the back was a little bit racy, which is why I hadn't ordered it any sooner. I was really struggling trying to find a dress. And I sent one to my friend, and she was like, why don't you just order the one you sent me? And I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot about it. The back had buttons, so you had buttons in the middle, and where the buttons were, it was on a lace detailing, and then you had two sort of panels that went up the back and then connected to the front. I'll try and put pictures on the screen. I was quite concerned because normally with that style of dress you should be able to wear sort of like a strapless bra and like a backless bra and all of that, but I just can't. So I took a punt, I ordered it, and I really liked it. Don't get me wrong, like I loved my dress when it was on, and I think it looked beautiful in the photos. I absolutely loved it. But when I tried it on, going through the whole process of trying the dress on and having to get it in a different size and all of that, it was a lot of stress, and I did get really stressed, and I settled, but I'm really glad I did because I loved it. The one thing I will say is that the sizing on Chi Chi London were very weird. So I ordered the 14 and it was pretty big, which is the size I had to keep because I ordered the 12 as well, and that I couldn't do it up. It was like a size 8. They were so vastly different. But after I got married, they then released or put online their curve range of my dress. So I reckon if I got it in a 12 curve, it would have been fine. It was on the website for £62, which is so cheap anyway. And then I found a discount code for 15% off. So I got my wedding dress for £52. We did have to spend, when I say we, my stepmum wanted to do something, so she actually paid for it to be steamed because I wasn't able to get the creases out. I didn't want to iron it, so we literally just took it to the dry cleaners. I don't know, I didn't take it to the dry cleaners, I took it to like an alteration place, and they do dry cleaning on behalf of the company, and they just steamed it for me. So long-winded story, where I got it, what it looked like, how I felt, blah blah. Next one is, where did we start with the wedding planning? Right, so I'll quickly mention that I started it in January. So we started it 5 months before we actually got married, and I literally just started with going to look at the venue and booking our date. That's literally what we did. And then I just did dribs and drabs because our wedding was so relaxed and so chilled. I was a little bit too relaxed, to be honest. I just didn't want to deal with it, which is really weird for me because I'm such a super organised person. So I would just do things as and when I could afford it, when I saw something I liked. So for example, booked the date, so we had the date, so I knew when I needed things to be done by. Popped into Primark one day and found P's bridesmaid's dress. That's where it was from. It was white and it was £8. And then if I was down at, when I went down to Riverside, I popped into Matalan and I found some white shoes that I liked for P. So it was just sort of as and when I felt like it, because we didn't have so much to deal with. I literally couldn't imagine planning a proper wedding. I could just do it as and when I felt like it, which I really liked. So I started planning it in January, so it gave us 5 months, and it wasn't even 5 months, it was 4 months actually, because we saw the venue on the 20th of January and we got married on the 17th of May. And yeah, I just sort of worked my way through it really. We got Neil's suit 2 weeks before. It wasn't even 2 weeks. I think it was the week before. We did leave it quite last minute, but yeah. How did family members react to the wedding? So this is going to be a longer question because obviously I've got so many different components. We told my dad first, because originally it was supposed to be me and Neil. Way back when, it was supposed to be me and Neil. Then Neil wanted P there, and then Neil said that my dad should walk me down the aisle. So then we invited him and my stepmom. And then he was like, oh, I really want my mum there. I wasn't best pleased about that because I didn't want my mum to be there. But I couldn't have his mum there and not my mum. So then those two came. And then Ellie was being our photographer, so then she came. So then it just snowballed. So we told those people first, and then there was other family members that I told. So I told my dad's mum, I told my grandma, because I tell her everything and I always just sit down and just chat to her, and I wanted her to know. Reason why she wasn't invited, it sounds awful, but it would have been a lot of stress, hard work. Practicality wise, we would have had to have got a wheelchair for her, and for the period of time of what our wedding was, it was only a few hours, it just wasn't worth it. And she's completely fine with that. And then Auntie Carol, Uncle Damien's wife, I wanted her to be there, but it just wasn't, there wasn't really much point, in the sense that obviously I would have loved to have her to be there, but financial reasons for her, it wasn't worth her closing the shop for a day and losing a whole day's worth of earnings. It wasn't worth it, and I wouldn't have wanted that for her anyway. So I said, we'll have a catch up when we're back and we can go for a meal or something like that. So I told basically my family, that is my family, that is what it is. But we kept it from Neil's two brothers and his dad. So the reason why we didn't invite them was just because it would then be so big. We would have had to invite his two brothers, their their partners, so that's another 4 people, his dad 5, his stepdad 6, and then potentially children as well, and that is not what I wanted. I would have loved his brothers to have been there, but it's just awkward having the chat being like, oh, by the way, your wives aren't allowed to come. It just, I think it would have been too much ag. So when we went to London, we parked our car where we left it and we made the phone calls. We called we went brother, dad, brother. Brother number 1, I thought would have gone the best, and it didn't go. I think when you surprise someone, it's like, oh, by the way, we got married today, it's a massive shock, and I completely get that. But when someone has their back up, I don't appreciate that, and that's what happened. And I was very angry, and I still am at the moment, so I've got to be careful for what I say, because I don't know who watches these videos. But it was very much like, what, you got married sort of thing. It's like, yes, okay, I completely get that, that's fine. Very quiet, asking questions, and then we got the comment and the line of, not buying you a wedding present, it's not why we get married, that's not why we've done this. It wasn't even on my mind that we would have received a present from them. So that was the comment, and then we haven't really heard from him since. So Neil called him a week after and was like, you alright, what's going on? He was like a bit pissed off about your secret wedding, not gonna lie, and just sort of went off on one saying it's rude that his family wasn't, like, all of his family wasn't invited. And I just think, if you can't be happy for your brother, for the biggest day of his life, marrying me and becoming husband and wife because you didn't get invited, it just doesn't sit with me. So that's that one. His dad was fine. He was like, if that's the way you wanted to do it, then that's fine, I'm pleased for you, and was like, you're never going to find anyone as good as Jess, so I'm really chuffed for you all, like, you've made yourself like a family now. So that went down as well as it did. And then the last brother is the one that I do the school run for his partner, and he was like, really congratulations, really happy for us, really shocked, but at the same time, like, really happy, do it how you want sort of thing. We have had like stuff saying like, oh, talking about you behind your back, couldn't give a shit, it was my day, do what I want, I'm happy the way we did it, wouldn't have changed it at all. So long story, that is how family reacted to the wedding. And then this next question also coincides with that, and the question is, how do we deal with unwanted opinions? I don't deal with them, don't give a shit. And that is what it is. If people can't be happy for us on our wedding day, the fact we've become husband and wife, then that's their issue and not mine. Like I said, I wouldn't change the day. I think it went really well, and I don't see why it's an issue. I just don't get it. If one of my friends got married in secret and they didn't tell me, I'd be really happy for them. So I don't get why people would be bitter. I don't even think they really missed out on much. I'm not gonna lie, our day wasn't massive and wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like we rented out a stately home and we had like a massive party. It wasn't like that at all. It was small, it was intimate, so I don't care. Was P a flower girl or a bridesmaid? I don't really know what she was. She never really had a title. She was just there, and she was wearing like a bridesmaidy flowers girl dress. So I mean, you could call her that. I guess she was, because she had a bouquet of flowers. I'll call her my flower girl. But yes, she was. Ellie was sort of like my not officially named maid of honour. The next question is, can we see your ring? There's nothing really exciting to show, so if I do this, bear with. There we go. So the bottom one is my engagement. So I think it's a halo, 18 carat, and then here it's got diamonds on the shoulders up to a certain point, and then you've got my band on the top, which is a 2mm white gold band. I know you should wear it the other way and the wedding band should be underneath, but my engagement ring is far too big, so this actually keeps it in place. So there's not really much to say about it. I want to get another ring for an eternity ring when we can afford it. I don't like the silver band, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted like this, like the diamonds up to the halfway point. That's what I wanted. So we're gonna get that probably in a couple of years or so for my eternity ring. But that is my rings. Did we have hen or stag do's? No, we didn't. So Neil and myself, we aren't drinkers, and we're also not very sociable. Neil is more than I am. I didn't have a hen do just because I'm quite particular. I keep my friends very separate, and I wouldn't know what I would want to do. I don't like going out, I don't like getting drunk, so it's pretty pointless me having one, and I don't know who I would do it with, and I don't know whether I would have had a group of friends. And again, to keep costs down, I just didn't do it. Neil's the same, he wasn't fussed about it. He has separate friends, he goes around and sees them all, but they don't really get together in a group. So we just sort of bypassed having a hen and stag do and just didn't have one. Either of us cry during the ceremony? No, we aren't emotional people at all. We are a bit strange. Neil said that he got emotional when he first saw P, just because he hadn't seen her for like a day and he'd never seen her like in such a beautiful dress like that before, and she did look so pretty. And then when he saw me, I just think he was happy that I was there. I think he was just happy to see me. Apparently when I got to the end where he was stood, apparently he was like, "You look beautiful," but I didn't even hear him say that. But I wasn't emotional seeing him, he wasn't emotional seeing me. The only time I got emotional during the day was when in my something borrowed from Ellie, it was something to do with Uncle Damien. That was the only time I got emotional, but other than that we were just happy to be there, happy to do it. And yeah, I don't really know why people get emotional, I really don't, but then again I don't have a heart. So this is a question that I got quite a lot as well, not specifically this one but surrounding it, and that is, do we feel pressure to have another baby now we are married? I got a lot of questions saying like, "Oh, you're gonna have baby number 2 soon, blah blah blah." I feel pressure to have another baby anyway, regardless of whether I got married or not. I feel pressure. I can guarantee you, if I put my video up, imagine my title of the video was "We've Got a Secret," and then me and Neil sat like this, I can guarantee you 99% of people would have said it was a pregnancy announcement. I just feel like that is what everyone is expecting these days, is like another baby as opposed to a marriage. So I feel pressure having another one anyway. I feel pressure from myself. I don't feel pressure from YouTube at all, but I feel pressure from myself, and I sort of feel it a little bit from my family, just because everyone's like, you've got to have more than one, because obviously I come from a very small family, and I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I feel that pressure in the sense that you've got to have another one, but not because I'm married. So yeah, I think it's a weird one. I don't know. What will happen if we have another one. We do. I don't know if I will ever be ready for another baby, if I'm being completely honest. I really don't. And I think that I had the chat with Neil the other day actually. I'm so content with my life at the moment, and I'm so comfortable and everything works. I know what I'm doing. I say that. I try my best and I get through the days, and me and P, we're a unit and we come as one, and that's fine. I am absolutely terrified to have another one and shake up what is already working perfectly well. And I think that's the struggle, and it's also sort of like a time thing as well, in the sense that if I fall pregnant sort of in the next couple of months, it'll be a 3.5 year gap, which I feel could potentially be manageable. I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have another one, and I've never had the experience of being one of two. And I'm worried that if I leave it much longer, like another couple of years, I won't want to do it again because I'll be back on my feet. P will be out of nappies, she'll be at school, I'll be at work. You just get into a new routine, and I'm terrified that if I don't do it soon, I won't have another one. But it's also deciding whether we do want another one or not. So that's a long-winded way to basically say, no, I don't feel pressure because I'm married, I just feel pressure from myself. Why the 17th of May? To be honest, it's not really a number that I like. If you watch me, you will know that I'm very, very particular about dates. I don't know what it is, I'm just weird like that. Like, someone will announce the birth of their baby and I'll be like, yeah, good day to be born. We were looking at getting married. Right, let's go back. When I was younger, before I met Neil, 17, I used to look at dates that I wanted to get married. God knows why, because I wasn't with anyone, but I always liked 19th of May 2019 or 21st of May 2021. I have got no idea why I liked those dates. They were just always my dates. And I did want to get married 1905-19, but we were hoping to have, again, I say hoping, the plan is / was, don't hold me to it, is to have a baby in 2019. So I sort of wrote that year off. And then, oh, it would have been good if I got married 17th of May 2017. I should have done that. But we, and then obviously the 2021, it was just too far away, if I'm being completely honest. So then we were looking at May this year, and I looked at the 18th of May because I like things to match, but I don't really like even numbers. Honestly, I don't know why you're all subscribed to me, I really don't. Plus the 18th of May was a Friday, and that costs more in wedding venues. So we're just looking at dates, and I think the 17th of May was the only number I liked in May. We wanted to get married on the 7th of May because that is our official like anniversary of getting together, but that was a bank holiday Monday, typical. So we just sort of picked it. We just looked at the calendar and Neil didn't care. He didn't care. He just listened to my waffle and is like, alright, we'll do that then. So I chose the 17th of May. I don't really know why, just because I'm funny about numbers. I feel anxious on the day. Not at all. Like, literally, I ate my breakfast fine. I can imagine a lot of people can't eat, feel sick. I just got on with it. I wasn't anxious at all. The only part I felt anxious about was driving there, because I was worried about traffic, but that was absolutely fine. I was there 20 minutes early. And the walk in, I guess, because I hate attention on me, and I hate people looking at me, and I also don't like receiving compliments. So when people are like, oh my god, you look beautiful and all of this, I'm like, cheers. Thanks a lot, let's move on. I just don't like being vulnerable. I don't know if that even is vulnerable. I just don't like compliments. So that thing I was a little bit just not feeling great about, but other than that it was fine. Obviously I was worried about saying my words, and we both messed up a little bit, but it was okay. As soon as I was there and I saw Neil and felt his clammy sweaty hands, I was like, right, let's just get the show on the road then. Like, I was so chilled and so laid back, and I feel like my attitude makes it seem like I didn't give a shit about the day, which I did really care about it, but I just thought there's no point like me or Neil working ourselves up, because I already did that prior, just getting everything ready for the day. I did my stress, and I wanted to just relax on the day and enjoy it, and I feel like that's what I did. That's my inspiration for my wedding look. Honestly, didn't have one. Again, so chilled, laid back. Didn't really Instagram search any brides or anything, because I knew that if I did, I wouldn't look anywhere near as good as what they do anyway, because you know how they're all glam and their hair's perfect and all of that. I just didn't fancy making myself feel crap about myself. So when it came to my hair, I let my friend George just do whatever she felt looked nice. So we like got a couple of things offline and sort of looked at that, and then we sort of tweaked it as to what I knew I liked and what I didn't like. So for example, she tried plaits, didn't like it, so then we did twists and stuff like that. So there wasn't ever like a picture where I was like, I want to look like that. Same with my dress. there wasn't really any inspiration. I just stumbled across it, liked it and brought it. So there literally was no inspiration whatsoever. I just did me. That actually leads on to the next question, which is, did I do my own hair and makeup? And I did. So my friend Georgia did my own hair. Originally Ellie was supposed to do it, but then my friend Georgia said, I'll do it for you. She works in a hair salon, so I was like, fab. Even though she's had no experience doing hair, she's really good at doing hair, if that makes any sense. So like I said, she came over a couple of nights, we did a couple of trials. We worked out one thing that I liked. So I knew one thing that I wanted was that I wanted it to be off my neck. I didn't want, we tried one style and it was quite like a low bun, but where my hair would have finished was where my dress started. I knew I wanted like my neck to be on show. I knew I didn't want my hair down because of the way my dress was. My dress sat very high. I didn't want any hair to ruin it, so I knew I wanted it all up. So we just tweaked around and sort of played around with it. It did change quite a lot by the end of it. But I'm really happy with how it looked and how it turned out, and I felt really pretty on the day, which is something that I never say or feel, but I just felt really classic and pretty, and I loved my hair. It held the whole day, and it was just, I just really liked it. This is why these are a little bit blunt cut, because we took some kitchen scissors to these bits. But yeah, my hair was done by my friend, and then for my makeup I did pretty much all of it myself, and then I did my eyebrows, and whilst I was getting my hair done, Ellie did my eyeshadow, because I really struggled to do it, and all the girls were like, you need to wear eyeshadow. I didn't want it because I couldn't do it how I wanted it to look, and then on the day I was just like, Ellie, do what you need to do my face, I don't care, just do it. So she sat there, did my eyes, and then put my eyelashes on, and then the whole look just came together. I'm just going to do 2 more questions and then I'm going to sign off for today, because I feel like this is going to be long enough. So the next question is, did we hire a photographer? And that is no. Would never have been able to afford it, and I had Ellie. So Ellie is by no way means a photographer, but she's got the eye of photography and she does really well. She takes really nice pictures of Evie, and she's got a really nice DSLR. So when we were talking about obviously getting married, I was like, we should ask Ellie if she'd be happy to do our photos for us. Obviously she was, she did it in a heartbeat. She saved us so much money and I couldn't be more appreciative. But I also really liked, like when we were going around having our shots taken, I really liked how it was someone that I knew, because it just made me feel comfortable. I couldn't imagine walking around having our photos taken with someone that doesn't know me and Neil personally and is going to try and make us do all these lovey-dovey shots of like dipping me underneath a tree and like kissing me. That's not us at all, like at all. And I really liked the fact that Ellie was capturing us as us and not making us out to be anything that we're not. So I really liked that aspect. I was really happy it was someone that I knew very well. She knew me, and she was, honestly, it's not the only person that thinks it, like me and Neil, but friends and family have also said how amazing she was with P. So like she was stood behind the camera and she was going blah, 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 making P laugh. It was making me and Neil laugh, and she just smashed it. She did so well. So I couldn't be more grateful for like I keep singing her praises in these videos, but I literally couldn't have done it without her. I don't know what I would have done. So she absolutely smashed it. And the last question for today's video is, have I changed my name and how do I feel about it? So this is, am I in focus? I don't know. This is going to be quite controversial. I don't know. You know me, I don't do things by the book. And the whole thing gets on my nerves. Why should I change my name? So I'm not going to. I'm going to double barrel my surname. So I'm going to have a 19-letter surname. I don't even know how many letters my actual name will be, because my first 2 names are pretty large in themselves. So I'll be Jessica Victoria Coachy McKinder. And that is just simply because I love my surname. I don't know why I've got such an attachment to my surname, but it's my name. I've had it since I've been born. Why should I just change it because I've got married? Just the whole thing just doesn't sit right with me. But that's just me being rebellious and doing things that aren't right. Well, not right, but people just, I don't know. I just like to make life difficult for myself, I think. but my surname is my surname. It was Uncle Damien's surname. My mum remarried, so my mum doesn't have my surname. And everyone's opinion is like, oh, you should drop your surname, like you should take Neil's, that will be too long. And I think that's what spurs me on even more to do it, because I think, no, sod you, I'm going to do what I want. So yeah, I'm not going to take Neil's surname. I don't know what it is, I just like my name, and there are already a couple of Mrs. McKinders. I don't want to be the same. I want to be different. I want to be Jessica. I want to be a Coach McKinder. Like, why not? It's my name. I can do what I want. I can change it to something completely different if I want to. Neil's completely fine with it. And I was sort of thinking, like, after we got married and like when you're in your bubble, I was thinking to myself, yeah, no, maybe I should just take his name. And I thought to myself, would I be happy 3 months down the line that I've lost my name? And I know I wouldn't be. When we had P, I wanted her to be a Coach McKinder because I knew I would double barrel my name, and everyone was like, no, you can't do it, blah blah. And I listened to everyone else, and she hasn't got my bit in it, and I regret that so much. So I'm going to change her name as well, so she will have the same name as me, Coach McKinder, so she's got both. Neil won't be taking my name. I don't expect him to. Again, why should he change his name? Because I don't want to take his. I don't care. He can do what he wants. He's happy for me and P to be the same. And I've always said that when we have another baby, if we have another baby, that will be a Coach McKinder. So that's what I'm going to do. I am quite bitter. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just what sits right with me, and whether that is the done thing or not, give a shit. I'm doing what I want. I don't know how that's going to go down with that side of the family, but it is what it is. I also haven't taken my dad's surname either, so my dad is a different surname to what I am. I know when you're born you should take your father's surname, which is why P's got Neil's, but I didn't take that. I took my mum's maiden name, so no one really has got my name, and I think that's why I like it. I love my initials. I love JVC. I don't know why, I just love it. So yeah, I'm not going to take it fully. I'm going to double barrel. That is a pretty large Q&A, I think, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you had some like good snacks or a cup of tea whilst you've been watching me rabbit on. I'd say to you, if you have any more, leave them below, but try not to bombard me with questions because I've still got so many more I need to answer. But I hope you've enjoyed this part one. Hopefully you found out a little bit more about us as a couple, me as a bitter wife, and our day. And I will sit down and film part 2 very soon. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!